Hey there, gang. Welcome back to Papa's Model Workshop. I'm Papa. This is my workshop. So, I have a question for you. What do you do when you're in the middle of a build and you've got missing parts? That can ruin your day. Well, I'll tell you, I'm kind of dealing with a situation like that right now. Now, if you've been following along, you know that I have gotten back to work on that Peterbilt Wrecker. And, well, let me show you. All right. These are the schematics for the drivetrain, okay? And these items right here, okay, can you see those right there, those two? Right here, let me highlight that for you, okay? It's this piece right here and this piece right here, okay, those two. Those two pieces are not there. So you've got a couple of choices when you have parts that are just flat missing. You can immediately jump up and scream and yell and throw your model on the ground and stomp on it. I don't think I'd recommend that one. Or you could contact the manufacturer. In this case, this is an AMT kit, which I have done before. I have contacted AMT, Revel, and Tamiya, all three, for missing parts in the past, and all three have been very responsive, and I have gotten my parts. Or the third thing is you can perhaps try to either replicate or fabricate something that is maybe as close to the missing part, or fabricate something out of the box that's going to get the job done. Now, in this case, this is the frame right down here. And what these pieces are designed to do, they are supposed to attach up here to the axle. And those are going to help you to line up with the axle in front. So it's important not only because you need something to support the axle, but you also have to have it in such a way that it's going to line up. So it's not enough to just get it in there. All right, it has to line up. Now, I've mentioned before, if you have followed me, that what you should do, and I've recommended this particularly on AMT kits and MPC kits, to look down the line from the given area that you're working on. So in this particular case, I'm up to step number 4, all right? And where you want to look down the line on this, excuse me, is here on step number 8. All right, now step number 8 is where we're going to attach the tires to that axle area, okay? And it's at this point you're going to need all of these areas here to line up, all right? So if they're not lined up just right, you're going to have a situation where your stance is off. I think we've all at one time or another had a situation where the stance is such that, again, grab this. I know you're sick and tired of seeing this, but this is the thing that's sitting on my desk here. But you see how all 4 of these wheels are touching, okay? And if you don't have all of these wheels and the axles and the assembly just right, what happens is you might have 3 that are touching and you might have 1 that's hanging up like this, all right? So it's important, watch me drop this thing now as I'm turning it around. It's important to make sure that in this particular instance, everything in step 4 is going to be lined up correctly. So by the time you get to step number 8, those tires are all going to go on and everything's going to be firmly stanced or standing. So I'll tell you, let's go back into the workshop. Let's go to the assembly bench, and I will show you what I came up with. And some of you might say, Papa, what the heck is that? Well, you know, sometimes you have to think outside the box to get things to work. So I'm a little bit outside the box on this one, but I think it's going to work. Before we do that, let me tell you one more time, make sure that you check out Shaggy's Awesome Garage and Link's Scale Models, okay? Link's Scale Models and Shaggy's Awesome Garage, they kind of teamed up for this group build. It's a box stock group build under the hashtag Assemblers Unite. And I hope you saw my last video where I asked everybody to vote on one of 3 kits for me to jump into the group build with. And I will review those 3 kits for you inside the workshop in just a little bit. So in the meantime, let's take a look at our problems with this Peterbilt Wrecker. Okay, I'll see you inside. All right, so in here at the assembly bench, here is our frame, here is our drivetrain, and here is our problem right back here, okay? Can you see this right in here? This guy right here. This is the piece that's missing for back here. And these pieces are designed so that there's a little piece that comes up like this, all right, and holds this area in here, all right? And obviously you have 2, one for each side, okay? One on this side, one on this side. And what I decided to do is I decided to use some polystyrene, okay? Now, I got a number of these. I've gotten these from Hobby Lobby. They come in different shapes and sizes and all that sort of thing. Well, this is the one that I used. Hang on, guys. Just bear with me. I used this piece. Whoops. There we go. Sit still. I used this piece right here, right? Can you see how thick that is? All right. And I measured it, and I cut it to size, and I have it in here with tape. I haven't glued it yet, because that's another thing that I've always said, make sure you test fit before you come in with glue. So, by doing this, I was able to elevate this to the proper height so it's going to line up with this axle up here, all right? Now, it's not enough to get this at the proper height. It also has to sit in such a way that it's lined up properly, all right? And what I mean by that, and I took a straight edge, all right? And you put your straight edge right here and you hold it against the end, and you want to make sure that one end, well, in this case, this end, because this is already glued, is not in too far or hanging out too far. You can eyeball this and try to get an idea, but if it's not exact, when you put your tires on in step 8, as I illustrated for you just a minute ago, your tires are going to be off. So you want to put this on here and make sure that you are at your proper length, I guess. You want to make sure, and as I'm doing this, see, as I'm holding this is off slightly, all right? But this isn't glued, it's just kind of sitting there, so I can manipulate that a little bit. So, one thing that I will suggest is in making sure that these 2 are at the proper height, all right? You can get yourself a little level, all right? See that? Okay? And you put your level on there, and you see if you are, in fact, level, all right? Get that back out of there. Okay. And there, all right? So if I sit this just like I'm holding it now, again, this isn't glued, but if I sit it up there just like that and then glue it, it looks like that little bubble is right in the center, okay, and it should be level. Now, for some of you younger guys out there who are just getting into modeling and you're not sure exactly how a level works, all right, you see these 2 dark lines right in here, okay? And you see that little bubble? You want that bubble to be right in between those two dark lines, okay? Like that, right? And when you get that bubble in there, then whatever it is that you're trying to make level, well, with that bubble in there, then it's level, all right? I know most of you folks out there know how a level works, but, you know, don't forget, sometimes we have younger modelers who are just getting into the model hobby business here, and they're not aware of such things like that. Okay, so we already mentioned about putting your straight edge over here. Now, it's very easy, as I mentioned, to eyeball this, and you think that it's lined up properly. What I'm going to suggest is, if you have a work mat like this, use your grids, okay? Take your straight edge and put it on a line here. Can you see that? I hope you can see that okay. And if you put your straight edge right on the line, okay, then you know it's straight. If you just put this down without a frame of reference, by virtue of a line like this, for example, you can put this down, and again, let me see if I can move this in so you can see it a little bit better. All right. You can put this down, and you see this is actually behind the line a little bit, and this half is actually in front of the line a little bit. Very difficult to eyeball this without a frame of reference by virtue of a line at the base, okay, to determine if that is in fact straight. And in fact, it is not, okay? So what I would suggest is use a line for reference, okay? Set this straight on the line. Now you know that one end of the straight edge isn't hanging in a little bit or hanging back a little bit. It's absolutely true. And then you can put this up against this, all right? So, Papa, I don't have one of these. Okay, well, you can get these at just about any Hobby Lobby. In fact, I think that's where I got this. You can get them on Amazon and probably just about any hobby store. Which, okay, that's fine, Papa, but I'm working on this now, and that's not going to help me now. All right, well, try this. You can take a piece of paper, all right? And what I did here is I took my straight edge, or my ruler, and I measured down a 1/2 inch, okay? 1/2 inch from the edge here. All right, and I put a little dot. In fact, you can still see the dot right there, all right? And I did the same thing on this end, all right? I put a little dot, there it is, right there. There's a little dot, all right? And then just connect your dots. Put your straight edge down, all right? And connect your dots. And then you've got a straight line. Now you have a base to put your straight edge on to make sure that these are true, okay? And I just lost that, but as I said, it's not glued. All right, here it is. I actually found that rather quickly. Sometimes things drop, and it takes you 3 days to find it again. All right, so having done all of that, I know exactly where I have to glue this, and then I will take off my tape and I will apply the glue. What I'll do is I'll hand paint this with flat black, and it will basically blend in with the rest of this. Now, for those of you who are purists and you know, very attuned to making things absolutely accurate, you might make the argument that, Papa, that's not anatomically correct. And you know what? You would be right. It's not anatomically correct. But it's going to get the job done. And when you paint this black, this is, now remember, this is going to be upside down like this, all right? It's going to be in an pretty much an out of the way area. You know, now if this was to go to a show and the judges pick it up, and if you've not gone to a show or you're not familiar with how a show works, in a show, the judges will indeed come around with a flashlight and even a magnifying glass, and they will look at small details like that. And if they run across this, yeah, they're probably not going to pay much attention to my build, because, again, this is not accurate and anatomically correct. But for my purposes, and because this is my model, I'm comfortable with the trade-off. And see, this will fit right in there. See? All right. Got that right in that little opening there. And, it's a trade-off that I am willing to make, even though it may not be accurate and complete. Not complete in the sense that it's, perfect the way it should be. But it will get the job done. It's a trade-off that I am willing to make. Now, if you are a perfectionist and you're not willing to make that trade-off, then look, I understand, and it's your model, and you can certainly wait for the proper part to come in by sending an email off to AMT. I wanted to move along on this, so that's what I decided to come up with, and, well, that's what I did. So that's going to pretty much be it for this segment. It's going to be a relatively short one today. I'm trying to do my best to shorten some of these videos. I know the last one, I think, went a little bit more than a half an hour, so I'm trying to work on that. So give me a thumbs up if you think that any of this has any merit. If you think that I'm full of hot air and this is all ridiculous, then you can give me a thumbs down. That's okay. If you're a content creator and you want to swap shop cards, there you go. There's my mailing address right there. And if you would like a shop card, there is my email address. And I would love to send you a shop card. Just send me an email and I will send you this beautiful shop card. How's that? Or you can send me an email and tell me, that, you're crazy for doing that, and that's okay. I don't mind if you, send me a message and you say that, you don't like something that I did. The only thing I ask is just don't become personally vulgar or nasty. That's all I ask, but it's okay to disagree with me. So I think that's going to wrap things up for this. So I will see you in the next episode.